welcome back to Susan Dawn Spiritual Connections. Welcome to a brand new Sacred Union Energy Update. We're going to get right into it today with a check-in, just kind of doing a quick check-in to see what the energies are. I feel like the readings that we've done, the channelings that we've done, are still going to be resonant. Things feel pretty quiet, all quiet on the home front right now. Things feel pretty peaceful at the moment. I feel like, especially for the Divine Feminines, you might be feeling very introspective. Things might have slowed down a little bit in your life, or you might have gotten called to slow down, to be still, to rest. Myself, I am just doing a lot of resting, doing a lot of reading, just doing a lot of things that are taking time for myself. So I feel like you're being called to just be with yourself. And I feel like it's because there's a lot of energy in the collective right now. There's a lot that is being experienced right now. I myself felt a shift over the weekend. I think it was like Saturday or Sunday. I felt a shift, and everything felt lighter. Everything felt much more hopeful and peaceful and light again. And I realized for myself that I needed to go into that darkness, into that experience, in order to understand what the collective is experiencing. I'll talk more about that in upcoming channelings. I did talk a little bit about that in the channeling Yeshua and the Open Door. Please make sure that if you are resonating with these Sacred Union updates, that you are also checking out the other channelings, the Soul Path readings, the sacred channelings, such as Yeshua and the Open Door, because that's going to be more in depth for your journey. And I know I say this all the time, but your journey is not just about your relationship or your connection with your counterpart. Your journey is also going to be about your ascension. That's why we call it the Sacred Union Path of Ascension, because it's about your ascension journey. Your twin, your counterpart, your sacred partner, whatever label that you choose, is going to be the catalyst for that growth, for that soul expansion. That's what your journey is all about. Your journey is a journey of ascension that is all about soul expansion, all about soul growth. And your twin is meant to be that divine mirror. Everybody is a reflection of us. Everybody, every situation that we have, every experience that we have is going to be mirroring or showing something back to us. But your counterpart, your twin flame, is going to be that ultimate mirror, that ultimate catalyst to keep having you dive deep, to keep bringing you into the soul of yourself, to keep connecting you to yourself, and not the identity that you thought you were, but who you are at the core, without the patterns, without the wounding, who you are before all of those beliefs and all of those experiences and trauma and pain and the wounding kind of took over. You're rediscovering who you are at the core, and that's what your journey is all about. That's what your twin flame journey is about. Your sacred partner connection is all about. It's the sacred union path, which means that it is just a path to your ascension journey, a path for your ascension journey. And everybody's going to have a different path. Everybody's going to have a different way that they are activated to their ascension journey. But for those of you who met a counterpart connection or a twin flame, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be the sacred union path. So that being said, make sure that you are checking out all the in-depth channelings, because there's going to be so much more information, so much more insight when it comes to what this journey means and how to continue to grow, how to continue to evolve, and including what does twin flame actually mean. You can check out my book for more on that. You can check out our Journey to Union bundle and our Ascension Connections portal. Or if you want more resources, simply email me, let me know where you are in your journey, and I'll help you navigate resources either for myself or from other practitioners that will be beneficial to you. Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to guide each other, here to guide you, to facilitate that journey. So let's get into it and see what's going on for the masculine, the feminine, and the union energies. And again, take it for your inner masculine and inner feminine. Take it for your counterpart connection, what you might be experiencing with each other, so that you can understand each other and continue to grow together. Whether you are in separation or not, it's an energetic connection. So you're constantly growing together energetically. As you grow, your partner is going to grow and expand, and you'll be feeling that energy. I also take it for the global connection, and that is what we were talking about in the Yeshua and the Open Door channeling. We're seeing this literally play out in the masculine and the feminine in the global collective. We're literally seeing this play out in our collective experience where the shadow is being brought to light now. And you're seeing that, especially with regards to males and females, and how that's playing out in the battle between males and females, so to speak. Again, Yeshua an open door. It's going to be helpful for that. Okay, let's see what's going on. Wow. Angel of love. Yeah. I was just talking to a friend, and I was saying how the energy feels pretty neutral when it comes to my experience with my counterpart at the moment. It doesn't feel like there's a detachment. It doesn't feel like there's a disconnect. I always feel connected. That's what inner union is. You always feel connected, but it's not at the forefront like it used to be. Your connection won't be at the forefront. You know, there won't be that obsessive energy. There won't be that need, because you've unhooked from the twin flame journey. You've unhooked from that matrix, is what I like to call it. So what happens is there's just this love energy between the two of you. And what I actually had gotten a couple of months ago, we had channeled a message in a sacred union energy update. In the union energy, it felt like there was this flow and this open door, this open flow between the two counterparts, where love was just coming through, where you're just feeling the love. And even if you're not in communication, even if you're not in contact, even no matter how you ended things with your counterpart, or you went into no contact or no communication, remember, again, this is an energetic connection. And so when you are open and connected within the heart space, you can feel that connection. You can feel that flow of love. And I feel like that's what the counterpart or the masculine energy is feeling right now. I feel like the masculine energy is feeling connected to you. And even if you're feeling fairly neutral, you might not be feeling those surges that you once did. You might not be feeling that obsessive energy. You might not be feeling them as viscerally as you once did. But that's because that's what union is. When you anchor that in, it's just love. And that love is just an everyday part of you. So I feel like the masculine specifically is tapping into their love reservoirs. They're understanding what love is. And I'm also getting this energy that they're receiving spiritual support. They're receiving it could be angelic support, it could be ancestor support, it could be, their own spirit guides, whoever they are connecting with. It feels like there is this energy of love. And when I say whoever they're connecting with, know that too, that it's always going to be in the energy of God's source. When we're talking about guides and connection, those are all aspects of God's source. Everything is an aspect of God's source. And so tuning into their guides, their ancestors, their angels, they might have specific guides that are working with them right now, but it's all part of God's source. And so I feel like they're being supported and tuning into their heart space. And also I do feel like they're tuning into the connection. You might not be aware of this, and you don't have to be. But I do feel like they're in some way tuning into the connection and understanding the connection. I don't believe that the masculine energy understands things in the same context that the feminine does. For example, they might not know the word twin flame, or if they do, they might not connect with it in the same way that you did. But I do feel like they will, on some level, understand that this is an important connection, this is a sacred bond, that this is different even than other connections that they've had before. So I feel like they're tuning into love. And this is also important. This is love within themselves as well. And that's what they've been doing along their ascension journey, is they've been clearing out what I like to call that soul sludge. So they're clearing out all of that energy to come back to themselves. They're clearing out all that energy of the old versions of themselves, all that old victimhood. And that's what we've been channeling for the past couple of weeks, is that worthlessness energy, that victimhood, that lack. They've been clearing that out. Now they're tapping into that love energy. They're tapping into what it means to feel love, be in the love, receive love. And I feel like it's all feminine energy. They're tapping into the feminine energy within them. This is part of their inner union. And the more that they tap into their inner feminine, the more that their masculine is going to feel safe and secure, and that's their core energy. So the more they're going to feel safe and secure to express their true conscious masculine energy. We'll talk more about the masculine in a minute. What's going on for the divine feminine? What's going on for the divine feminine? Divine Feminine, we have the card Indecision. I'm also getting drawn to the number 8. I'm being shown the 8 of Cups. I feel like there is some... You're at a crossroads. I'm not quite sure what this is about. I'm going to go right into the tarot and see what this is about because I'm not quite sure. For some of you, I feel like you might have ended a cycle. We just had Pluto move into Aquarius, and that ended a huge 16-year cycle. So you might kind of be wondering what's next, where to go, what to do. This might have something to do with your actual physical life. You might be making changes in your physical life, so you're questioning what the next step is. This could be with regards to a business, a job. For some, it could be a relationship. What is it that you want in a relationship? What's the next step in a relationship? There's this energy of moving on from something. Again, I'm being shown the 8 of Cups. There's this energy of moving on from something. And it's almost like you're at a crossroads of not sure what that next step is, not sure what the next something is. Let's get right into the tarot for the Divine Feminine and see what this is. Oh, we have the Emperor and we have the Queen of Swords. So I'm getting 2 messages here. The Emperor is obviously connected to the Divine Masculine energy. It could be your counterpart, but this could also be the Emperor energy within you, taking control of your life, especially with the Queen of Swords, having those boundaries up, having that sense of direction for yourself. And I feel like this is about you kind of directing your own destiny and taking control, especially where other people might be having expectations for you, or in a sense where you might be holding yourself back or feeling held back. The Mastering Spiritual Boundaries workshop that we did this past Sunday was absolutely phenomenal. It was one of my favorite channelings we've ever done. We talk a lot about boundaries in these readings. We talk a lot about boundaries in my one-to-one client spiritual guidance sessions. But that workshop put everything into context. And we also channeled a light language transmission with Saint Germain and a meditation with Green Tara, who both came in to help us understand and have boundaries or reaffirm those boundaries. That is available through the Ascension Connections portal as a replay package. I really recommend if you have trouble or struggles with boundaries, especially as we're moving into the holidays with family. Having boundaries is not just going to impact your twin flame connection in a positive way, because having boundaries helps you to grow. Having boundaries helps you to evolve, because having boundaries means that you are honoring yourself. But that's also going to have a ripple effect on everything in your life. That could be with regards to coworkers or management. If you're in a job, for example, that could have to do with friends or family. But boundaries is one of the core teachings that I teach with my one-to-one clients, because that is the ultimate unconditional love for yourself that enables you to open up to love others unconditionally. And in that workshop, we split it into 3 sections where it was all about spiritual boundaries and energy protection. It was all about personal boundaries and how to honor yourself, as well as honoring the boundaries of others. That especially is important when it comes to your twin flame or your sacred partner, the divine masculine, because you have to honor where your counterpart is. There's a difference between holding space and supporting somebody versus allowing them, or versus a codependency. There's a beautiful balance that needs to be struck when it comes to, honoring somebody's autonomy and supporting them and holding space for them. And we talked all about that as well. So boundaries is what is really going to help you elevate your connection with yourself, with others, and especially with your twin flame. And I feel like that's what is happening here. Is I feel like you're directing your own destiny, and part of that might be putting boundaries. And I'm getting that with the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is somebody who is very firm in herself. She knows herself. She's very connected to herself. So is the Emperor. But the Queen of Swords is somebody who is not afraid to express herself. She's not afraid to express her boundaries. She's not afraid to communicate what it is that she needs to communicate in honoring of herself. And that is how she's going to direct her destiny. That's how she's going to claim her power, because she is being held in the container of the divine masculine. Her own inner masculine is making her feel safe and secure and present to be able to communicate, to be able to share, to be able to have those healthy boundaries, which is a door. You think that boundaries are a wall that you have up. Boundaries is actually a gateway to to invite in. It's an invitation to welcome in more love, but in the way that you deserve, in the way that is honoring of you. You're no longer in a place where you're disrespecting yourself. You're no longer in a place where you are abandoning yourself. You're no longer in a place where you're rejecting yourself or neglecting yourself. You're no longer in a place of people pleasing or self sacrifice. You are now in a place where you are honoring yourself, knowing what you deserve because you have connected with your inner masculine. And now you are claiming that power, claiming that energy, claiming that sovereignty for yourself. Now, with the decision card here, or the indecision card, you might have been walking away from people, places, things, cycles that were dishonoring of you in the past. And now you're being held in the energy of this self-empowerment so that you can now move forward in healthy ways to things that are much more honoring of you. But now it's like you're just kind of making a decision. What is that next path? What does that look like? Maybe you've never truly loved yourself unconditionally before. Maybe you've never truly honored, yourself and what your needs are, what your desires are. And so now there might be a little bit of a decision time to make. What does that look like? What does your life look like? What is it that you want for yourself in this new state of energy, in this new sense of honoring? Again, with the masculine energy, the more that you are connected with your inner masculine and healing that inner masculine, the more that's going to have an impact on your counterpart, because your inner masculine is your counterpart. They are another person. They're another physical person. They have their own personality. They have their own journey. They have their own life. But you do it in parallel. You do it in tandem because you are one soul experiencing two different lives. But it's that one soul where as you grow, they're going to grow as well. And so the more that you're anchored into your inner masculine, feeling that sense of safety, feeling that sense of security, not looking outside of yourself for that, not seeking externally, especially in another masculine for that, you're recognizing that within yourself. That's going to have a huge impact on your counterpart connection and their growth journey as well. All right, let's see what's going on for the divine masculine. What's going on for the divine masculine? Page of Pentacles. Yeah, something new is starting here. Something new is starting here. And I feel like divine feminines, you are meant to be focused within your own life and not on your counterpart. This is giving breathing room to your counterpart connection. This is allowing them the space to explore and discover themselves and understand this love for themselves. And that's actually what's going to create a strong foundation for your connection. The more that they're going to discover this for themselves and almost like gift this to themselves is what I'm getting. Gift this love to themselves. That's going to create a foundation for them to be able then to give to others in unconditional light, and especially you, divine feminine, as their counterpart. But I feel like in the past they weren't able to do that. They didn't have the capacity to hold that love. They didn't have the capacity to hold that energy because, again, victimhood and self-worth issues and just this lack and scarcity mindset, self-esteem issues, a lot of insecurity. So now this is like this love is a gift to themselves, and the more that they are loving themselves, the more that they are able to open up and share that love with you. The masculine energy is naturally the giver. The feminine energy is naturally the receiver. And the feminine is, when she receives, she's able to amplify that and give back to the masculine, so that he's able to receive and kind of grow with that. Masculines really like to feel appreciated, and once they feel appreciated, it's like, okay, now I can give more and more and more. So it's this beautiful, I have it in my book as an infinity sign. It's this beautiful just energy exchange. And if you really want to elevate your journey, if you really want to dive deep into this, again, I have so many resources available in the Ascension Connections portal. You can buy my book to dive deeper. This is next level. Like, this is taking you to the next level, understanding not just that your twin flame is your twin flame, and not just wanting a relationship with your twin flame, but understanding that it's the inner work that is the driving force. So I feel like the divine masculine here is, with this Page of Pentacles, I just feel this energy of a gift, but it's almost like they're giving themselves this gift of love so that they can like shine brighter, and they can then have the capacity to be able to give to others. It's beautiful energy here. And again, it does feel like this is new, something new, something new. And I also feel like divine feminine, that might be why you are in this state of rest, in this state of just spending time with yourself, this internal state, taking care of yourself, this reflective mode even. I feel like it's because your energy, essentially, while you're in this rest state, your energy is holding space for the divine masculine. They're growing, they're expanding. They might even be taking action in certain in certain energies, in certain regards. For example, they might be planning things. They might be planning if there's they might be planning their finances. They might be planning a move. They might be planning a shift in jobs, or they might be planning a new business or building a new business. There's this kind of thinking energy that's going on with regards to the next level of their life, because they're leaving the old version of themselves behind. That's what happens when you go through a growth cycle. We also have the Knight of Wands and the Six of Cups. The Knight of Wands is traditionally this energy of taking action and wanting to just go really, really fast. I feel like there's this energy of they want to go fast now. It's like they have a sense of direction, especially as they're tapping into this love energy. They have this sense of direction, and they're feeling better about themselves, and they just want to start right now. They just want to go right now. And I do feel like spirit is kind of slowing them down and saying, put the brakes on, hold your horses, take some time. I'm actually getting that from you see how he's kind of like rearing up, like take some time, slow it down, because the Knight of Wands can be a little bit reckless too, can be a little bit too brazen. And so it almost feels like their spirit team is having them slow down to kind of balance out this energy. I feel like with the Six of Cups too, it's like they want to get started or restarted. My reconciliation and reunion channeling will be really beneficial for those who are coming into contact again or communication again with your counterpart. It's going to help you understand the process of union, because union is a process. It's an energetic process. It's not going to show up as, well, for 99.9%, it's not going to show up as a grand declaration of love. That Hollywood version, that is not the sacred union path of ascension. That's more soulmate energy, where there's grand declarations, etc., etc. This is an energetic soul connection. It's very different. This is an ascension path. It's all about the growth. It's all about the expansion. And when you have two counterparts like twin flames who are coming together after time apart, there needs to be a recalibration kind of energy. And that's what happens. So there might be some coming together. You recalibrate the energy. You connect energetically. Even if you're meeting in the physical or communicating, there's an energy an energy exchange that recalibrates. So your frequencies are recalibrating to each other. And so you might take some time apart again to kind of integrate that energy and come together and share some more information or experience some more things together, and then spend some time apart to integrate that energy. That's all part of the process because it's an energetic thing. Soulmate experiences are very different. Soulmate experiences are what Hollywood and movies and film and etc. are really based on. Now, there's some that do showcase the twin flame connection, but they're bringing me to a movie, Love Rosie, I think it's called. I love this movie. It's with, God, I can't remember. I'll put a reference to it in the description box, but they're bringing me to it because that is, in essence, a twin flame connection where there's a coming together experiences and then almost like a recalibration and some time apart to integrate that energy. That's what this feels like. And I feel like spirit is actually asking the divine masculine to, whoa, slow down, hold your horses, because their own energy within themselves has to balance out first so that they can sustain the union. And that's what that recalibration is for. It's for the ability to be able to sustain the union, because remember, the energy between twin flames is so big. It is so expansive. It is so much. I don't know. It's big. It is big. It is big because you are literally looking in the mirror at your own soul. You are literally looking in the mirror at yourself. And so you need to take some time to integrate the energies that you're experiencing, because again, it is so big, this energy. So I feel like the divine masculine does want to connect, does want to reconnect. There's this reunion energy. This might be for some, this might just be in like a daydreamy state. For others, there might actually be communication and connection where they want to come forward, but spirit is kind of slowing them down a little bit. And have patience with that too. Don't be upset at the divine timing of things, because when we say divine timing, it's not, on the universe's time. It's literally up to you. There's still shifts that are possibly happening within you. There's still healing and growth that's happening within you so that you can sustain this union. I'm going to share something because they're bringing it to me. My counterpart and I lived together for 2 years, but we were not able to stay in that union because for myself and for him, I won't speak for him, but for myself, there was still much more that I needed to go through, that I needed to heal with, that I needed to experience. And for me, it was healing the masculine within me. When I was in Europe last year, I connected with the sacred masculine energy in a way that I'd never connected with the sacred masculine before. I don't want to say never. I had in meditation, but this was not in meditation. This was, in the sacred space at the White Spring in Glastonbury, and I felt the masculine within me, and I heard the masculine is coming home. And through this past year, 2024, what I've been experiencing is an embodiment of that anchoring in an integration of my inner masculine that is now able to hold my feminine energy. And what I've been working on this past year is my dark feminine energy, my dark divine feminine energy, and embodying that. And I talked about that in the Yeshua and the Open Door channeling. What is the dark divine feminine? The dark divine feminine is an aspect of the feminine energy that is necessary, that is needed. That is the wholeness. You have both the masculine and the feminine energy within you, but divine feminines, you also have the light and the dark feminine energy. And the dark feminine energy isn't something bad. It isn't something negative that we have been conditioned to believe it is. The dark feminine energy is a primal life force energy. She is literally the energy that gives birth to life. She's a very primal, wild energy. And the masculine, when you have that container of the masculine, he is able to hold the feminine. But you have to be able to hold that within yourself. And that only comes from a healed masculine within you and embodying that healed masculine energy within you. And so for myself, I had healed that masculine energy within me so that now I could connect with and embody and integrate the dark divine feminine within me, who is unapologetically authentic, who is fearlessly herself, who stands up, who speaks up. In the Yeshua and Open Door channeling, Yeshua showed it to me as the turning over the tables at the temple, because there was this injustice. And that's what we're being called to. We're being called to not just meditate and speak up in love and light. The feminine energy is soft. She is compassion, but she is also Kalima energy. She is also a warrior. She is also fierce. She is also an unshakable force of energy. And so connecting with that energy, you understand that this dark divine energy, this dark divine feminine, in that wholeness with the feminine energy and wholeness together, she is unshakable force, and the masculine within you has to be able to hold that. So you heal the masculine, you heal the feminine, you heal the masculine, you heal the dark and embody the dark divine feminine. That is your union. That is your wholeness. And so as you're healing, your counterpart is going to be healing, going through their own cycles, going through their own healings. And what they're actually showing me is it's not the dark divine feminine for the masculines. For those who resonate as core masculines, it is their warrior template as the masculine. So they'll heal their own feminine, which helps their own masculine energy to rise, and then they'll embody the warrior template that is the masculine within them. So then you'll be able to come together and be able to sustain that energy, because you'll have the capacity. You'll both have healed and grown and expanded to be able to heal that within yourselves, to be able to sustain that energy when you are in communication or connection, when you are together. So separation keep looking at it as a blessing. Keep shifting your perspective from lack. Keep shifting that energy and shifting your perspective to looking at it as a blessing so that you can continue to heal, continue to grow, so that you can sustain that energy. Okay? All right, let's do something a little bit different we haven't done in a while. Let's see how you guys are feeling about each other. Divine Masculine. How's the Divine Masculine feeling about the Feminine? How's the Divine Masculine feeling about the Feminine? Respect. Yeah, there's a new growth that's coming in, and communication. Yeah, like I said, he wants to come towards the feminine. It's almost like he is feeling the energy of love. He is feeling the energy of any resentment, any pain, any anger, I feel is being resolved within him. I'm also hearing being transmuted by love. And so I feel like he wants to connect and reconnect with the feminine, but Spirit is just slowing him down so that he can balance that energy out. Because if he came in full force, it might actually scare you, Divine Feminine. You might question it, you might doubt it. I feel like this needs to take its time, and time not being a linear thing, time not being months and years. I'm talking about just being part of the unfolding, being part of the process. So I do feel like there is this newfound understanding that they have reached about the connection. I feel like where they had been very much in projection about the connection, projecting their own pain, projecting their own wounds onto the feminine, especially if they have unhealed aspects of the feminine. With mother figures or exes or, any feminine energy that had caused some kind of pain or trauma for them that created this wounded feminine energy around them. I feel like they might have projected that onto their divine feminine. And I feel like that is what is being healed. That's what's being healed through this energy of love. That's what's being transmuted by this energy of love. So I do feel like there's this newfound understanding and realization that they're coming to through their own healing. And they don't do healing. Masculines don't do healing for the most part. Don't do healing in the same way that the divine feminine does. The divine feminine will do a lot of healing modalities. They will do a lot of meditations and energy work. The divine masculines, for the most part, will do their healing through experience, through situations, through actions, through relationships or work dynamics or finances. They will literally do their healing through their physical world, whereas the feminine will do her healing mostly energetically. It's because the masculine is a very grounded energy. But I feel like they are perceiving the journey, they're perceiving their feminine differently, not with a wounded lens anymore. And I feel like that's what's making them want to communicate. Okay, how is the feminine feeling about the masculine? I'm going to take that. That just kind of fell out. Maturity. I feel like, again, there is this growth. And I feel like that's this energy. You're moving out of a cycle of lack. And there's this new growth that is happening. And that's because you've been expanding. That's because you have been spiritually maturing. And spiritually maturing is that growth. It is that soul growth. It is that expansion. So I feel like Divine Feminines, I feel like you might be perceiving your masculine differently because of your own growth. You might have been healing your own resentment, your own pain around the situation. You might be shifting and reframing your journey and how you've seen your journey, unhooking from that twin flame matrix so that you are open up to the whole of the sacred union path of ascension. Yeah, there's this freedom energy here. So I feel like you have really ended a cycle, moved into the higher heart ascension is what I like to call it, and you might just be kind of questioning what goes next. And you're not meant to know everything. You're meant to allow it to unfold. You're meant to allow it to be a process and just focus on your joy, your happiness, your peace, your love. Just focus on your life, what is present in your life versus what is not present in your life, because that's what's going to open everything up when it comes to your counterpart connection. Keep directing your own destiny. Don't wait for your counterpart to catch up, because they will. They will. Not because you're waiting for them, not because you keep looking back and wondering where they are, but because you are focused on your journey, because you are creating and building your life of your dreams. Your counterpart is going to be part of that. It's going to be catching up to that in their own way. Okay. Let's get a final, let's just use the romance angels. Let's use the romance angels and get a final card for how they're feeling about each other. We really haven't done one of these in a while. We'll get back to a more in-depth Sacred Union energy update in the next couple of days, and I will have some more channelings going deeper into the Sacred Union path of ascension and ascension as a whole for your journey coming up. I have a whole list of channelings that I'm wanting to do, channelings that have been coming in, the information, the energy has been coming in, so make sure that you're subscribing and staying tuned. What does the Divine Masculine want the Feminine to know? What does the Divine Masculine want the Feminine to know? Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. I feel like he's affirming for the Divine Feminine that just because you are in this neutral energy, just because you are not connecting as you had been in the past with the masculine, it doesn't mean that you're disconnected. You're still connected to your counterpart. You are always connected to your counterpart. You are and always have been in union. That's what your counterpart really wants you to affirm, really wants you to understand. That just because you're not in communication or just because you're not in contact, it doesn't mean that you're not connected. And just because you might not be maybe experiencing such visceral dream states, or you might not be feeling them with you all the time, it doesn't mean that you're not connected. They're always with you. They're always part of you. It's almost like I feel like there might be, this might only resonate with some of you, but I feel like there might be some of you who are freaking out because you might not be feeling the connection as you had in the past. That's not an indication of whether or not you're on the journey. It's not an indication of whether or not somebody is your twin or isn't. It depends on where you are. There's other factors that are put into play there. It depends on where you are on your journey. When you reach a state of inner union, it becomes very natural, it becomes very organic. It's not what it felt like in the beginning, because in the beginning you were unconscious. Now you're much more conscious. Now you've gone through this process where you have integrated and anchored in and embodied all of this energy, including the masculine and the feminine within you. So I feel like your counterpart is kind of comforting you and saying, it's okay. It's okay for you to not focus on me. It's okay for you to focus on yourself. It's okay for you to be in a little bit of a retreat mode. That's necessary for the journey too. Trust where you are in the journey. Trust what it is that you're experiencing. You can't make mistakes on your spiritual journey. You just can't. Everything is an opportunity for learning and growth. Everything is an opportunity for you to see yourself better. And so your counterpart is wanting you to give yourself some grace. He's wanting you to give yourself some compassion. He's wanting you to lay off of the pressure a little bit within yourself, because he's feeling that pressure too when you put that pressure on yourself or when you put that pressure on the connection. So it's time to disconnect with the world. Divine Feminines, we began that way, that you might be feeling neutral. You might be feeling called to rest, where you're not focused on your spiritual work, or you're not focused on your counterpart or the connection, or you might not be feeling it the same way. And that's okay. You don't have to be. The connection is still there, or will always be there. That's where you have to anchor into that knowing within yourself, not because of what you're seeing or not seeing, but because of what you feel within yourself. It's an inner knowing. It's an inner trust. If you're still feeling doubt, that means there's still some work to be done. Okay, and Divine Feminines, what is it that you need the Divine Masculine to know? Getting to know each other again, and worth waiting for. Yeah, I feel like Divine Feminines, this is, it could be for you as well, but I feel like this is for the Divine Masculines to say, again, it's a process. When we reunite, when we reconcile, it's going to be a process of getting to know each other again. But now it's going to be different. This is what we channeled in the reunion reconciliation channeling. Really important. I'll link it in the description box if you missed it. We've been channeling this for years. When you come into reconciliation or reunion, when you begin the process of sacred union and sustained sacred union, when you begin that process, having both gone through your ascension journey, you'll have to get to know each other again. You know each other on a soul level. That is irrefutable. That is unshakable, unbreakable. You know each other on a soul level, but you'll have to know each other again from this new conscious place, having gone through your journey. For example, when you were activated to your ascension and you met your counterpart, you recognized the soul of each other, right? But there's all this personality stuff that came into play too, and all these past experiences and past woundings and, other relationships that you had, etc., that all played a part in how you experienced each other. And that brought up friction and triggers. And the triggers, again, were meant for you to heal. So now you've gone through that healing journey. You're moved into the higher heart ascension. You've moved into this place of inner union, which is peace and joy and conscious communication and conscious connection. And so now, as you are connecting again with your counterpart in the physical, in communication, or even just energetically, you're doing so from a more grounded place. You're doing so from a more conscious place. And so you're getting to know each other from that conscious state, which is your soul state. It is your soul state. So that the version, the soul that you recognized when you were first activated, when you first met, that is your soul. But again, all the personality stuff came up, all the unconscious stuff came up as it was meant to. That's why you were activated. That's what the ascension journey was. That's what the sacred union path of ascension is, where you activate each other. And so that's why it's worth waiting for. That's why if you would have, like me and my counterpart, for example, we weren't able to sustain it because we still were operating in unconscious states in certain respects. And as much healing as I had done, I wasn't embodying that healing yet. And so I had to go through my own experiences of embodiment to reach the place that I'm at now. And I know I'm only going to keep evolving and growing and expanding. And I'm speaking only for myself. I'm not speaking for my counterpart, but speaking for myself. If I had continued in that version of myself, I just would have been repeating cycles and getting further hooked into those consciousness loops. And so the separation was, in essence, as hard as it was a blessing. And I only see it as a blessing now because I can see that we've never been separate, that I still feel fully connected. I still feel that energy of love. I still feel like there's been growth and there's been expansion. And so the reason why it's worth waiting for, however it plays out, is because however it plays out now, it's going to be from a much more conscious way. And I know that because of who I am now, that it's going to be much more peaceful, much more loving, and much more conscious because of who I've become. I always say to trust yourself, trust who you have become. That's where you put your focus. It's not about what he's doing or not doing. It's not about what the masculine is doing or not doing. It's about you and your shift in energy. And that's what you can put your trust in. That's what you can put your faith in because you're so connected to yourself. That's what made this journey. That's what made this journey worth it. And so get to know each other. Get to know each other again. Okay? All right. We are going to close out here. I just wanted this to be kind of like a short, sweet one, even though we went a little bit more in depth than I anticipated. But we're going to close out here, and we'll be back in a couple of days with a much more in-depth one, and I have a couple more channelings coming up. Send you lots of light and lots of love, and we'll see you next time.